Freedom Gardening and Seed Bank 2010. This is a lesson on propagation. I wanted to show you what you're looking for. If you see a flower like this, that the petals have fallen off and it's beginning to dry, pick it. If you look closely in my hand, those little specks, those are all seeds. So look at this. One white flower has thousands of seeds in it. So if you're walking around or driving around and you see flowers that are starting to drop their petals, pick it, squeeze it in your hand, and look at that. Those are all seeds. This is what you would pay $5 for in the store. So if you're an entrepreneur, look at the possibilities. A lot of people will collect hollyhock seeds and sell them on the internet. Now that is about to bloom. That has not opened yet. You don't want to pick that. What you're looking for are these, the ones that are already dry. And look, it's like magic. You roll it in your thumb. There is your seeds. When I throw those, birds are going to pick that up, poop it out somewhere, and there's going to be a bunch of white flowers. The others that get lucky and survive getting hot, cooling off, getting rained on, will actually sprout and begin to do stuff. Like for example this one here. This is one of the ones we planted. You can see it's starting to come up. It's yellow. And down here you can see the little babies that are starting. But again, this is on collecting seeds. Now here's a different variety. All of these are all seeds. When you open these up, there's 2 seeds per pod. And as you can see here, one of these sticks, let me just pull it off, has about 30 or 40 pods. So right there's 100 seeds. You can sell that for $2 on eBay or Craigslist or whatever. Again, these are starting to open. These are the doubles. But what I'm doing is collecting these dead seed heads, pinching them and squeezing them in my hand, and sprinkling them around in the area, because that's what I'm trying to propagate. So every time I do this and sprinkle these around, there will be new babies forming, like these here coming up. They have fallen off the flowers that have gone to seed. So even if I don't go through here and pick these seed heads off and squeeze them and spread the seeds around, they'll dry up and do it on their own. But this just speeds it up. But for example, let's say you want a flower garden at your house. You're driving out on the road towards Bendigo, you see a beautiful flower patch over there. Pick a couple, put them in a vase, but look for these that have already gone to pass. And pinch them in your fingers, and voila, thousands of seeds. If you plant those, you will get a Shasta daisy plant, especially if you take care of it. I mean, this is a field. You can't play God out here. You got every wild animal in the world, sporadic weather. Don't mention global warming, because the weather's changing. Which for Pennsylvania, that's a good thing, because that means you guys will get warmer weather and shorter winters. Same thing's happening to Alaska and all that as the glaciers melt and we keep dumping oil into the ocean. Anyway, we're talking about propagating flowers. These are gorgeous flowers. They grow like weeds around here, and each flower head has a couple hundred little seeds. And if you were to open a Shasta daisy packet and look at them, that's exactly what you're buying for $2. So the way they make their money is they come out here and collect all of these seeds in a day. In one day you could probably fill up 2 or 3 5-gallon buckets. There are 5 seed heads. There are a couple thousand seeds. If you dry those out properly, throw them in your freezer, next spring go out and sprinkle them around in May. Right around June, July, you will have a white flower field. Hollyhocks are a little bit more difficult. I'm going to see if I can find one that has gone to seed. They have little curly Q looking seeds, and there's a bunch of them, but they have to completely dry. So, seed heads, squeeze them, sprinkle them, feed the birds. In return, there'll be twice as many white flowers next year. These are annuals. In other words, they're going to die. They're not going to stay alive through the winter. But these seeds will stay alive through the winter. And then when the weather gets right in the spring, they will sprout and become flowers and do the same thing all over again. So even though they're not perennial, they do reseed, they do propagate on their own. And you can see how easy this is, especially when you get the nice dry ones. You get the point. So that's propagation, seed storing, and how to sow seeds. I prefer to let nature run its course because there's no sense in tricking the seed into thinking it's going to grow up in a greenhouse when it's not. This is not a greenhouse. Those are Shasta daisy seeds. And as all the yellow ones come in, I'm a lot more interested in those because I'm looking for summer plants. Anyway, I'm going to continue doing this for a while. Sprinkle seeds. Eventually, these flowers will choke out all the weeds and get tighter and denser and denser. So like these big open patches, which actually have something starting right now. There's a bunch of little babies in here. But sprinkling the seeds around in the open patches, trying to get these patches to expand out. And these pods too, I wanted to show you these. These are different. These went to seed last year. But if you open this pod up, which is not easy because they're not very dry, you'll see there are little black seeds inside like a pea. I don't know if you can see them on the camera or not. But there's about 10 or 12 in each one of these little sticks, these little pea pods. All of those will then fall to the ground, become a new plant during the season for that particular flower. This is some heavy wheatgrass in through here, but it's shading these babies in here, which a lot of the really pretty perennials and all that stuff, they're delicate flowers. They grow in the swamp, they have cover, they like real alkaline soil. The reason why they did well around here is the big dam wasn't even there yet. So every year when the snow melted, it would flood that whole area from the dam in or all the way down to St. Mary's and Ridgeway, and the whole area would flood and wash mud down. And that mud was real alkaline because of the stuff in the clay and the lime and that's already in the soil. That's what got all the flowers to pop. But now that the dam's there, it doesn't flood every year. And there's not nearly as many plants. So there are thousands of seed heads, and I'm just propagating them. You can see there's a bush there that's going to go into full flower soon. And in about 2 weeks, these yellow ones will be dropping their petals. The bees will pollinate them, and then those seeds, spread those around. So I'm going to spread seeds all day. Each one of these flowers is the equivalent of about a packet of seeds that you would buy in the store. So save your flowers. They do a lot more than just Seed Bank 2010.